All right, this next portion is going to be obsolete almost immediately in terms of visual stylings because I'm going to be showing you how to create a team drive, but it won't be called a team drive for much longer. About the end of this month, they're going to change it to shared drives. So just get used to that. When you go into your Google Drive, you'll see right now it's called Team Drives. They're going to change that to shared drives. So we're going to go over and we're going to create a team drive, which is going to be called a shared drive. So to create a shared drive, we're going to go ahead and right click directly over where it says shared drives, and we're going to click new shared drive. Now, of course, it doesn't say that right now because they're going to change the name. Google always does this. It's really annoying, but we just got to roll with it because it's Google. And it's just so useful. So now we can give our new team drive a name. And so in this example, I'm going to go ahead and create one for, let's just say I'm going to create one for cricket enthusiasts. Because I don't find it likely that anybody's going to actually want to be a part of the cricket enthusiast team drive here. Cricket is not that popular a sport. Okay, so now I've created the team drive, I need to start bringing people into the team drive. And right there, all of my membership stuff is going to be directly underneath the name. I can click on the name to get a whole bunch of different options, like changing the theme. Let's go ahead and look for something a little bit closer to sports. Not really one in the default set here, so we'll just go with maps and select. And that's going to change the way that it displays in all of the team drives, or shared drives as it will be called. We can change some settings in here. We can change to whether or not we can share to people outside of willistonschools.org, sharing with non-members. You know, if I need to make it possible to share a document with somebody who's not in the group, I would change that setting here. Download, copy, and print can also change the settings for how that's controlled. But we're most interested right now in getting other people in this shared drive because that is the purpose of the shared drive, is to share a bunch of information with other people. So we're going to go ahead and add members. In this case, we're going to use now. Once I've got a name or two or an email address or two, I'm going to have the option of changing what kind of permissions they get in this team drive. So in this case, the default is Content Manager, which is anybody who has the permissions of a content manager can add, edit, move, or delete files. Content managers are a little bit different from managers. Managers can actually change the settings of the shared drive itself. Whereas contributors don't get the ability to move and delete files. They can still create files and edit them, but anything that they contribute into the team drive stays there until a content manager decides that it shouldn't be in there anymore. Commenters only get comment permission inside of every document, and viewers don't even get that. So in this case, we'll go ahead and give Pugsley a content manager permission. We can add a little message in here like, because this is just a test, and we'll hit send. So an email notification has now been sent to Pugsley Adams at willistonschools.org, and he's been added to the member list. Now from this member screen, you notice I just clicked on the spot where it said 2 members, and it pops into the member access page. I can actually change everybody's different roles. You want to be careful not to do that to yourself, because that can have unintended consequences, but you can change other people. So if I was adding a bunch of students into a shared drive for my class, maybe I want to change them so that they're only viewers at first, but later on they can become contributors. This is where I would go to change that. Unfortunately, you can't do that. At least I haven't been able to figure out how to do that with a large number at once. It seems like it's on a per individual basis, which is a little annoying. I would like to be able to just click a checkbox and change the permissions on a group of people, but maybe in a future revision, it's Google, they change things all the time. Eventually that's going to happen. So now I've got another manager in here with me. I can start contributing, and everything in here works basically the same as your regular Google Drive. The only exception is none of the files in here actually have an owner. They are owned by the shared drive. So that means if I were to leave this group, it doesn't take the document with me, and the permissions of the document are managed by anybody with the permission to manage that content. So anyone with the manager or content manager title can still manage that content. So this can be really useful in case you have, say, a department team drive. Maybe everybody in the department can be set up as a manager, or the department head is the only manager and all the rest are contributors, or content managers or something like that. But if that department head leaves or loses access for some reason or another, at any point you can request help from the IT department. We can go in there and we can actually create new managers into team drives. That's one of the things that we have the ability to do. So even in the case that you lose the person who was managing the team drive, or something happens, they can't be the manager of the team drive anymore. Maybe they leave the district, maybe whatever. We can go in there and change who's in charge of it, and we don't lose any files because they're all owned by the shared drive. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too much circular rambling around the same subject. Team drives are extremely useful for any group of people who are going to be sharing documents. So every teacher has the ability to create team drives. I would just advise don't go hog wild creating a whole bunch of them, because they will become very difficult to keep track of very fast. I mean, I'm not even a member of that many different team drives, but I've already got quite a few to look through if I want to find an actual, the specific team drive that I want to go into. So just, be aware. If there is a team drive that you don't want to see anymore, if it's cluttering up your team drive space, you can hide that team drive without leaving it. Right here, I'll just go ahead and hide the Cricut Enthusiast team drive, and it's been taken off my page, even though that team drive still exists. In order to see that, I'm going to have to click on Hidden Team Drives up at the top right, and this is going to be the list of all the team drives that I don't want on my front page. I can still go in and still participate. It's just hidden off the front panel, which is one of the ways that they made it a little bit less inconvenient to have a whole bunch of team drives. Even so, I would still say, use these only when you have a reason to. Departments, special like committees, anything that has a whole bunch of collaborators going into it, you can use a team drive for. Um, just, you know, you're going to want to be reasonable. All right, and that is going to be it for the last video for this session. Hopefully some of these things have been useful for you, and hopefully you will refer back to these videos again when the situation arises at the end of the year. You need to know this kind of stuff, maybe beginning of the year, I don't know. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Presumably some of you are going to be in the room while you're watching these videos. Feel free to, just pull me aside. That's why I'm here. So yeah, that's it.